Hey everybody, it's Mr. Clark here with your weekly wrap-up. This is the fourth edition of the weekly wrap-up, and it's hard to believe that we've finished up 4 weeks now of distance, flexible, online learning, whatever you want to call it. And it's even harder to believe that it's been actually 5 weeks now since the schools have been closed. I know it's been a little bit of a challenging time as we've transitioned to a different platform, a different venue of education. It's been a challenge because we're so used to being together and we're so used to students having their friends and being in class and having that connection and that social interaction, that this has been a challenge, not just for education, but for life in general, and that goes for all people. As we continue through this social distancing time, we do recognize as a school district, we had quite a few staff meetings that things are getting to be more challenging as we get further into this closure. And we know that and we recognize that, and we may be talking about some things in the week to come as we may start to kind of wean off some of the assignments, and as we may change things up a little bit, and as we may reduce some of the work as we go through the next few weeks. You'll start seeing that here in the next week or two, depending on what grade level of students you have. I know there's some things teachers want and need to get through, but at the same time, we recognize that this time is a struggle for all people. It's a struggle to stay positive. It's a struggle to stay motivated. And I do have 2 kids at home as well, and I understand completely what other parents are going through right now with students and trying to get things accomplished and keep them motivated to do their best. So we will be talking about that in future weeks. Right now, I do want to highlight a couple things. First of all, we are at midterm right now, and so we did post grades today for midterm reports. Some of those are called progress grades or progress reports, depending on if you're in junior high or high school. Elementary, it's called midterm reports. And those are able to be accessed through the parent portal. That you can go to our website, and right on the left side of our website, on the quick links, just click on the parent/student portal, and then click on the parent portal, sign in. And then on the left side, you can choose grades. If you have more than one student, up in the right-hand corner, you'll find a drop-down menu where you can select what student you want to see. And you'll be able to see the grades, and you can keep track of an in-progress grade as well as the posted midterm or third quarter, fourth quarter grades. We will be sending report cards home at the end of the year with grades for all quarters on there and a final grade as well. And we will eventually release some information about what those final 3 days will look like, and turning in material and cleaning out your lockers, cleaning out your desks, etc. But right now, we're going to wait and kind of make those decisions as we get a little further into this spring and closer to that date. Right now, the only thing left on our calendar for school-related items is graduation, and we're still trying to work through some of those things. We're kind of waiting to get to that May 1st date to decide exactly what we'll do. More than likely, we will push graduation ceremony off to June, maybe possibly even July, depending on what happens here with society and with our state and our rules and regulations that are set forth by the state and the Department of Health. And so we will continue to have hope that we will have a graduation ceremony where we can hopefully all come together and celebrate this accomplishment that the seniors have made. They've finished 13 years. I told the seniors the other day that just to be careful and not to trip right now at the finish line, that even though we're in this flexible learning, that we want to make sure that you finish strong and finish what you've started quite a while ago, and we'll all come together and celebrate with them as soon as possible. That does mean that prom has been canceled. We are not going to try to make that up throughout the summer. I know the prom committee is working on some different things, maybe for some students, some fun things that they'll try to get to students as soon as possible. Last thing I kind of want to talk about, maybe isn't really school related, but as I have sat in on meetings the last few weeks here, a lot of them are statewide meetings, regional meetings, area meetings with superintendents, Department of Ed, and all these different things, whether it's our staff, other superintendents, other schools. What I started hearing and realizing is that one of the main things that is driving and dictating people right now is fear. And fear is something that's a challenge to deal with because it's so easy to succumb to. But what I've realized is that as much as there is fear of this coronavirus out there, I think the fear of uncertainty is the part that people are having the biggest struggle with. We don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. We don't know what next month's going to be. We don't know about graduation, summer things, state fair, all these different things. What about tourism in our state? How does that affect the state budget? I've had numerous meetings talking about that with superintendents in the Department of Ed about our funding. What does that mean? What's the next school year going to look like? There's so many things that we don't know. And I think sometimes if we continue to listen and focus only on what we don't know and what we can't control, things get to be tough, not just for us emotionally and mentally, but it gets tough sometimes on us physically because all those things wear on us physically as well. And so the one thing that I've been encouraging our staff, I've been encouraging myself because it's tough for me too to stay positive with uncertainty, is to try to focus on what we can control and focus on the short term. What I do know is that this isn't the first time in America that we've been through some challenging times. And for the first time, I probably understand, and we all understand a little bit of what our ancestors went through with some of the challenges that they faced. World War II, the Dirty 30s, the Great Depression, those types of things. We maybe understand a little bit better. And even though that we find ourselves in challenging times, I know that we could look not too far from where we're at right now and find people in a lot worse situations. I'm very thankful that we live in South Dakota. I'm very thankful that I live in the Hitchcock-Tulare communities and we're not in New York City or Chicago or Detroit or somewhere else. I know we'll come together and we'll beat this thing. I know we'll be together soon enough. My challenge to you is kind of what I've said we're going to do at the school level, and me personally, would be to look a day at a time, a week at a time. And I know we still have to plan for the coming year, but at this point, I think the best thing with everything changing so quickly is to not focus and get too concerned about what 3 months down the road is going to hold. Right now, we need to focus on what the next 2 weeks is going to hold, what the next month is going to hold, and then work our way through. I know you can all stay positive as much as you can. I know this wears on us a little bit. We understand that. We're going to do our part as a school district to try to make things as easy as possible as we move forward through these next 4 weeks. I hope you all stay safe. I hope you all take care of yourself, take care of your families. Call those, Zoom them, FaceTime people that you love, people, your family members that aren't here. I know we've tried to stay in contact with our parents that live in Montana and other relatives as much as we can. They're by themselves. They don't get out very much. They're as isolated as they can be. And so just being able to see our face and talk to us makes a difference for them as well as for us. So I encourage you to do the same thing. Have a great weekend. Kids, I encourage you to do your best this next week. This next week may be our last full, hard week, and then we're going to start backing things off a little bit. So do your best, finish this next week strong, and then look forward to things kind of easing up a little bit. Have a great weekend. Be safe, be well, stay positive. Thanks.